Princess Kate has reportedly triggered the Grand Opinion of 1717, a 300-year-old royal decree that grants the reigning monarch ultimate legal custody over Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. While the world has been distracted by the superficial headlines of fashion choices and Montecito garden parties, a chilling legal reality has been unearthed in the deepest archives of Windsor. This is not a conspiracy, it is a nuclear move that has been hidden in plain sight for centuries. Following the investigative depth of the renowned Driss Chapat style, we are moving beyond the tabloid gossip to expose a legal trap so powerful that it could block Meghan Markle from the United Kingdom forever. Kate is no longer playing by the rules of public relations. She is reportedly using the invisible hand of ancient royal law to settle the Sussex crisis once and for all. For the first time on CrownGaze, we expose the strategy that has sent shockwaves through the legal teams in California. While King Charles has recently been seen rejecting Harry's children ultimatum, the real architect behind the Crown's new untouchable stance is allegedly the Princess of Wales. She has reportedly advised the king that to protect the monarchy's future, he must invoke his historic rights that render Meghan Markle legally powerless the moment she sets foot on British soil. To understand why this is a nuclear move, we must look back at a time when the British monarchy faced its first major internal split in the 18th century. In 1717, King George I was in a bitter feud with his son, the future King George II. The king was so terrified that his heirs would be raised outside of his control that he demanded a formal legal ruling from the highest judges in the land. The result was the Grand Opinion of 1717. This ruling stated that the care and education of the royal grandchildren, as well as the right to approve their marriages and travel, belonged exclusively to the reigning sovereign, not the parents. In an era of modern family courts and human rights, most assumed this law was a relic of the past, but in the United Kingdom, royal prerogative is a formidable force. Legal experts suggest that this decree has never been repealed. It remains the ultimate trump card for the monarchy. Why is this surfacing now? Because Kate reportedly believes that the soft approach has failed. The York Millions scandal and the constant threats of Prince Andrew going nuclear have shown that the Crown needs a definitive way to enforce discipline. By unearthing this 1717 clause, Kate is providing King Charles with a legal protective shield. It means that if Archie and Lilibet ever visit the UK, the king, not Harry or Meghan, has the final legal say on whether they stay or leave. Shows that this is the real reason Meghan Markle has refused to return to London. It is not just about security, it is about the arrest of rights. Sources indicate that Meghan's legal team has warned her. The moment those children land on British territory, the Grand Opinion of 1717 could be invoked to keep them within the palace walls, effectively holding Meghan's motherhood hostage to royal protocol. Kate's role in this is pivotal. While Prince William has been quietly taking over the Crown's operations, Kate has focused on the sanctity of the line. She reportedly views Meghan's influence as a digital and cultural poison to the next generation of royals. By reactivating this 300-year-old trap, she is creating a legal cage that ensures Meghan can never use the grandchildren as leverage for new royal deals or multi-million-dollar media contracts. This is the invisible hand of the princess. She is no longer just a member of the family. She is becoming the grand enforcer of royal tradition. But the 1717 clause is only the foundation. To make this move truly nuclear, Kate has reportedly moved to the next phase of her strategy, the Staff Protection Dossier. This is where the legal theory meets cold, hard evidence. Evidence designed to prove parental unsuitability in a way that even the Montecito PR machine cannot stop. The question is no longer whether Meghan will return. The question is, has Kate already made it legally impossible for her to ever come back? If the Grand Opinion of 1717 is the legal cage, then the Staff Protection Dossier is the lock that keeps it shut. Our investigation reveals that while the Sussexes were busy filming their Netflix narratives, a forensic team at Kensington Palace, reportedly under the direct supervision of Princess Kate, was working on a project of unprecedented scale. This is not about a simple HR dispute. This is a behavioral audit designed to provide the necessary evidence for the king to invoke his custodial rights. In the Driss Chapat style of analyzing deep-rooted international conflicts, we must look at the chain of evidence. Sources suggest that this dossier contains over 2,000 pages of testimony, legal briefings, and digital logs. It doesn't just focus on the well-known bullying allegations. It delves into what palace insiders call total protocol erosion. Kate has reportedly argued that the Crown has a duty of care, not just to its subjects, but to its future heirs. By documenting every instance where royal protocol was bypassed or where staff safety was compromised, Kate Kate is building a case for parental unsuitability under the 1717 decree. The strategy is clear. If the palace can prove that the environment created by the Sussexes is fundamentally incompatible with the safety and dignity of the royal line, the king has the legal and moral authority to limit their influence over Archie and Lilibet forever. This is the shocking reality that Meghan Markle reportedly fears most. It is the reason why her legal team has been in a state of high alert. Unlike the court of public opinion, a royal custodial review, guided by this dossier, would be conducted behind closed doors, away from the cameras, and governed by the king's prerogative. Kate's invisible hand is making sure that if Harry ever pushes for a children ultimatum again, the king has a mountain of forensic evidence to say no. But Kate's strategy doesn't stop at legal custody. To truly neutralize a threat to the crown, one must strike at their lifeline, their wealth. As we have seen in our coverage of the York Millions and Andrew's 8 a.m. reckoning, money is the ultimate leverage in the royal game. Princess Kate, reportedly working in tandem with the Shadow King, Prince William, is allegedly orchestrating a financial blacklist within the United Kingdom. While the Sussexes attempt to launch their lifestyle brands, such as American Riviera Orchard, they are finding that the British market is becoming a fortress they cannot enter. The power of the royal warrant is one of the most potent economic tools in Britain. Companies that hold these warrants are the backbone of the UK's luxury sector. Our investigation reveals that Kate has reportedly sent a silent signal through the palace's business networks. The message is simple. Any UK-based distributor, PR firm, or logistics giant that facilitates the Sussexes' commercial ventures risks losing their royal association. This is a shameful reality for Meghan's business ambitions. In the world of high-stakes commerce, no British firm is willing to trade a 100-year relationship with the future king and queen for a temporary contract with a Montecito-based brand. Kate's invisible hand is effectively bankrupting Meghan's UK potential before the first product even hits the shelves. This financial warfare mirrors the untouchable move we saw when Camilla moved against Kate in the early days of the reign. But now the roles are reversed. Kate is the one holding the cards. She is ensuring that the Sussexes remain financially exiled. By cutting off the British market, she is forcing them to rely solely on US consumers, who are notoriously fickle. The goal here is total collapse of the Sussexes' ability to use their titles for profit on British soil. It is a ruthless but effective strategy to protect the brand of the monarchy. If they cannot profit from the crown, they lose the incentive to remain in the public eye. Kate is reportedly betting that without the financial oxygen of the UK market, the Meghan brand will eventually wither and die. While everyone watched Harry, William was quietly taking over the crown's operations, but it is Kate who is executing the nuclear strikes on the Sussexes' finances. She knows that in the modern world, a duke and duchess without a market are just a couple with a mortgage. And as the York family learned during the £4 million secret deal scandal, once the palace turns off the tap, the fall is swift and permanent. But the final piece of the puzzle is the titles themselves. The world is waiting for Parliament to act, but Kate reportedly has a faster, more efficient plan. She isn't interested in stripping titles through a messy public debate. She is looking at title annexation. In the final part of our investigation, we will reveal the annexation strategy that could render the Duchess of Sussex a legally fraudulent title in the UK. We will also expose the satellite security protocol that has turned the Sussexes' lives into a digital cage. For months, the global media has been fixated on one question: will King Charles strip Harry and Meghan of their titles? But our investigation reveals that the invisible hand of Princess Kate has found a more surgical, legal alternative. Stripping titles requires an act of Parliament, a messy, public, and politically charged process. Kate's reported solution is far more clinical: title annexation. In the Drissopot tradition of analyzing statecraft, we see that identity is the ultimate currency. If you cannot take a title away, you make it obsolete. Sources indicate that Kate is reportedly pushing for a royal reassignment protocol. Under this plan, the titles of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would not be removed, but would be legally annexed back into the crown's dormant registry. By moving these titles to a dormant status, the palace effectively renders them legally fraudulent for commercial use. If Meghan attempts to use the Duchess brand for her American ventures, she would face a legal wall in the UK and the Commonwealth, where the title no longer officially exists in the active registry. Kate's strategy is to ensure that while they may hold the names in California, those names hold zero power in the corridors of international diplomacy or British commerce. But there is a second, even more nuclear layer to this annexation. Kate is reportedly advising the king that the Sussex titles should be earmarked for reassignment to Prince William's younger children, Charlotte or Louis, in the future. This move would permanently link the Sussex legacy to the direct line of the Shadow King, Prince William, ensuring that the titles Harry once cherished are now used to strengthen the very institution he walked away from. It is the ultimate social exile, a title erasure, that leaves Meghan with a brand that has no kingdom to back it up. The final blow in Kate's nuclear move involves the most sensitive subject of all, security. We've heard Harry complain about the loss of his taxpayer-funded protection, but the reality is much darker. Following the style of Somoy TV's Drischapat, where we investigate missing satellite images and hidden base activities, we uncover the new Protective Surveillance Protocol. Under the guise of the Grand Opinion of 1717, the law that gives the king custody and responsibility for the heirs, the palace has reportedly authorized a security perimeter around the Sussex grandchildren. This is not about bodyguards on the ground. It is about digital and satellite monitoring. Sources suggest that because Archie and Lilibet are high-ranking heirs to the British throne, the Crown has a legal obligation to monitor their security environment 24/7. This creates what insiders call a digital cage. Every international flight, every high-profile event, and every security detail hired by the Sussexes is reportedly being cross-referenced by Crown security. Kate's invisible hand has ensured that the palace is always one step ahead. Meghan Markle reportedly finds herself in a paradox. She wants the children to be royal for the status, but that very status now gives the British state a legal reason to keep them under constant protective surveillance. This is the ultimate checkmate. Meghan cannot move the children without the invisible hand of the palace, knowing their every move before they even leave the driveway. It is a security protocol that feels less like protection and more like a permanent state of royal oversight. As we conclude this CrownGaze exclusive investigation, the picture is clear. The era of the quiet Kate is over. While everyone was watching the drama of the York Millions or the Andrews 8 a.m. reckoning, the Princess of Wales was quietly becoming the grand enforcer of the monarchy. By unearthing the Grand Opinion of 1717, compiling the evidence dossier, and orchestrating the financial and title annexation, Kate has done what no one thought possible. She has legally and socially neutralized the Sussex threat. She has shown that the new monarchy is untouchable, a fortress built on ancient laws and modern clinical precision. Meghan Markle now faces a choice: remain in a digital and legal cage in California, or return to a UK where she is legally powerless and socially extinct. The invisible hand of Princess Kate has closed the gates of Windsor, and this time, there may be no key to open them. Is Kate's use of these ancient laws a fair defense of the British Crown, or has the Shadow Queen gone too far? We have posted a grand opinion poll on our community tab. We want to hear your voice. Has the time come to enforce the 1717 clause and bring the royal heirs back to the UK? For more investigative deep dives into the hidden secrets of the monarchy, subscribe to CrownGaze and stay tuned for our next Drischapat special.